This is a story.
That began halfway around the world.
A story of searching.
And of patience.
A story of how I found Christ.
And how I found the love of my life. This is our story.
So I was born in the Philippines because my mom was on vacation and my dad was there on a CIA mission. True story. But I grew up in Southern California all my life in a solid Christian home with my mom, my dad, and my brother. So God was a big part of my life.
I was born and raised in the Philippines with my parents and siblings. Life was good but also hard. So I found my joy in dancing and became a part of a dance group over there. And that became my happiness, my passion. And then my family decided to move to California when I was 16. And it was hard and sad for me at first. I missed everything until I met new friends and found places to go dancing. So every weekend, wherever there was dancing, I was there.
So I actually suck at dancing. I have 2 left feet. But anyway, so my older brother, at the time he was dating Chriselle, who he eventually married, and all of us would always hang out every Friday at our youth group Bible study nights. And I remember Chriselle would always ask for prayers for her older sister. So I actually was praying for Joyce before I even met her.
For 7 years, Chriselle would always invite me to Bible study, and I just wasn't interested in it. For years, I always told her no. But there was this one night I was sitting in my car wondering, okay, where should I go this weekend? Who should I text to go out with? Then I remembered my sister's invite, so I decided to go and check it out.
It was kind of a big deal. Chriselle's sister, who we've been praying for years, finally started showing up to Bible study. God finally answered our prayers.
It was a different atmosphere, and I thought it was really cool to learn about God.
We all tried to make her feel welcome, so I tried to talk to her.
Obie was talking to me that night, and it was kind of annoying. I couldn't hear most of the things he was saying. I just kept thinking, man, this guy needs to speak louder. And I still think that up to this day. I mean, did you guys even hear him say I do at church?
So Chriselle kept bugging me to hang out with her sister Joyce so she'll make new friends and want to hang out more. So I ended up inviting her to a hike I had planned with some of my other friends to a place called the Bridge to Nowhere.
It's a video.
Oh, hi!
That was our first time hanging out as friends. It was really cool because I love nature and hiking. Everything was awesome except that Obie kept cramping up and I had to take care of him.
What can I say? I forgot to have my morning banana. But when we finally got to the Bridge to Nowhere, that's where all the fun started. I went bungee jumping and she watched.
4, 3, 2, 1. Woo!
And it turned out that the hike to the Bridge to Nowhere actually went somewhere. This was the start of me and Joyce's friendship.
I had fun with Obie. We liked doing the same things. So every time he came back from his tour with his band, we would go out more, go on hikes, run, go out to eat, do a lot of outdoorsy stuff. But I didn't start to notice him liking me until we went to Vegas with a bunch of our friends and family. So after that, I asked him, hey, what's going on here? Do you like me? Because I kind of like it. But then he said, I want to be your kuya. So for those of you who doesn't know what kuya means in Tagalog, it really means I want to be your big brother.
Okay, so I didn't want to be a distraction to her. She was a new Christian and she needed to focus on God first. I mean, I wanted God to be her first love and I didn't want to get in the middle of that. But did I really like her? Yep.
So I just got baptized and it was so cool because God started using me right away to serve at church in a ministry that I love, dancing. I danced for Vacation Bible School, Easter cantata, Father's Day, and even shared my testimony in a dance.
So relationships to me is a serious decision. I never dated around to just mess around. I actually made a promise to God that I'd remain pure for God and for my wife. I even got this purity tattoo on my ring finger. I made this promise that I'd dedicate my singleness to doing ministry work and staying sexually pure for my future wife. So when my feelings got stronger for Joyce, I had to stop and really seek God's guidance, because if this was a relationship that I was going to pursue, there's no room for failure. If I was going to pursue her, I was going to marry her. And so I really needed to seek God's guidance in that.
For a month, we had no communication. This was our time to focus on God about this relationship. It was a very hard time for me. I didn't quite understand it. But that's when God really came and comforted me through reading the Bible and praying. God reminded me that He comes first and Obie comes second. And when you put God first, everything will fall into place.
So after a lot of praying and fasting, we felt like God was leading us to make our relationship official. And when we did, that's when we started doing everything together. We would go on all kinds of adventures.
I'd rather be, yeah.
So we've been to so many places together, but one thing that I noticed that she loves to do is dance. Everywhere. It doesn't matter. She will dance. Dance, dance, rejoicing.
Let me take a selfie.
So after spending so much time with her, I just fell more and more in love with who she was, not just physically, but who she is on the inside. She's the most loving person that I know. And I just felt like God was saying, now's the time to marry this girl. And so when I was on tour in Brazil, I flew Joyce out to meet us there. And in Rio de Janeiro, at the foot of the Christ the Redeemer statue, I popped the question and I asked her to marry me. And I thought there's no better place to ask this amazing gift from God to be my wife than with Christ in the center of our relationship.
While we were standing there at the foot of the Christ statue, that's when I really realized how much God loves me and how He gave my biggest dream the best for me, how He formed everything together, how He put us together every step of the way, everything that happened from the beginning, for all the things that I went through, and how He picked me up again and He formed me into this girl. And that's when I really felt God holding me and hugging me and telling me, Joyce, this is for you, and this is what I had for you, and this is what I wanted you to wait for, and this is what I was preparing this whole time for you. This man who loves you so much, who will do all these things for you, who will take care of you. And I felt like the luckiest girl, the most blessed girl in the world that day. And how could I not say yes? It's true. When you put Christ first, He really, really gives you the desires of your heart.
Thank you, Jesus. You set me free. Christ, my Savior, You rescued me.
Love is not an emotion. Love is not a feeling.
It's a choice. Love is not a noun.
It's a verb. It's an action word.
That's something that our generation has forgotten.
When you love somebody, you wake up every morning and you choose to love them.
Love has nothing to do with how you feel or what they did or what you have done.
Love is a choice, a commitment to keep on loving the other person regardless of circumstance.
Everyone wants true love. True love was modeled for us by Jesus.
That while we were still sinners, He loved us unconditionally.
And if we learn to love the same way that Christ loved us, our love will never fail.
Thank you, Jesus. You set me free. Christ, my Savior, you rescued